to the club's benefits of chess as a tool for education and skill development. Under the guidance of a team of internationally certified instructors, students will learn the fundamentals of strategy, tactics, and other key concepts in a fun and highly engaging way. Dubai Chess Club also offers ladies-only training program for women to have a comfortable environment to train. Studies have shown that chess is a great way to strengthen memory, enhance creativity, develop problem-solving skills, and boost the analytical abilities of children. Moreover, it teaches children the value of planning and foresight, and helps instill discipline, self-confidence, perseverance, and sportsmanship. Children who study chess are also known to improve their academic performance. A child who makes great chess moves can make great life moves.
Against the US, but in the eliminations, they were running away with 17 points. The US only got 13 points, 13 match points. So they won the event because of the drawing odds in the finals. And the critical game was this game by Yu Yang-yi and Wesley So in the finals. Okay, let's go through the game. Right, Yu Yang-yi was white and Wesley was black. Okay, so this was d4, knight c3. We have the names of Indian on the board. Queen b3 was played by Yu Yang-yi, and we have c5. Okay, white went for d takes c5. Now knight a6, threatening d4 now. Okay, we have d4 coming up. White took on d5, knight takes d5, nice c6 move, all right. Queen a5, so Wesley tries to pressure the c3 knight. Bishop to d2 and takes on c6. That's a good thing about the c6 move, right? You give away that pawn on c6, but it also breaks the pawn structure for black. It isolates a and c, the a pawn and the c pawn. So you visualize in the end, now that is also a weakness in the black side. All right, so we have a g3 now. So now it transposes into more of like a Catalan structure after g3. So knight takes c3, takes on c3. Okay, we have both isolated pawns on c3 and c6, but the good thing here for white is that the bishop on g2 is keeping an eye on that pawn. So white is slightly better here. And that bishop on c8, there has to be a question there. Where do you put that bishop later in the game? So that's the question. So black castle, we also have a castle for white. Wesley, of course, push e5, opening the line for his bishop. Yu Yang-yi played queen c2. Here Wesley played queen c7, which is a bit questionable. Okay, why did he play queen c7? All right, can he play bishop e6 here and develop the bishop? Maybe he was worried about c4 probably, or maybe bishop g5. But he needs to develop that bishop. Queen c7 starts the problem for black. Yu Yang-yi played here queen e4, a very nice move. After f6, now queen c4 check, bishop e3. All right, and now white is restricting black's pieces. The knight has no square to jump on c5. Problem for the knight, now he needs to reposition himself, okay, reposition the knight to b8 and d7, and that takes a lot of time. All right, so knight b8, Now rook fd1. After bishop a6, queen e6. The knight still cannot move. All right, takes on e2, another waste move. Okay, pawn grabbing in the game is also not very good. Pawn grabbing in chess sometimes put us in a losing end. That's a problem when you pawn grab. You lose some tempo over there. Look at that. When you Wesley grabbed the pawn, he moved back. Now white is just improving the position of his pieces after the pawn grab. So bishop to c8. Now we are back to queen c4. f5. Knight goes back to f3. Centralizing. King h7, h4. Nice move. And the brilliant move by Yu Yangyi with knight g5. Takes. Here Wesley played a bad move, rook g6. Rook e6 was still playable though. But after rook g6, now comes bishop d5, a very strong move. The threat now is king g2 and then rook h1 mate, right? And also bishop f7 is just so strong. How to stop that one? Well, it's a big question. Actually, it's unstoppable. This is already winning for white after bishop d5 because white is taking advantage of that queen on the queen of c7. Then after f4, now we have bishop e4, or just giving away that bishop on e3. This king g2 is just curtains. Now rook d6, king g2. White has time to take the pawn and move back. After taking d1, rook takes d1, and it's game over. You look at the knight on b8. You look at that rook on a8. Okay, so in chess, the important thing is development, right? You make sure that you put your pieces on optimal squares. In this case, knight on b8, rook on a8. What was that? Useless pieces, yes? You need these pieces to be active. If they're not active, you have, of course, no chance of winning the game. So that one, after rook d1, the threat on h1 is just unstoppable. You cannot stop the mate. Okay, the only way to stop, probably to prolong, would be bishop g5, but nothing much, just bishop take. Rook h1 is just next. It's mate next because the queen is taking away g8. You cannot move back to the king. No possible way. Win by Wu Yangyi, then a win for China. And they win the first FIDE Chess.com Nations Cup. Okay, it was 2-2. Caruana won over Wei. There was a draw between Nakamura and Ding Liren, which was also a bit questionable because Nakamura was actually better in the game. That could have been critical as well. If Naka went on to win, then US could have won the Nations Cup. But that is chess. And then Hu Yifan drew with Irina Krush. All right. Now let's look at the important games. Okay, the best games played in the tournament. And one of the games being played there was a game by Vishwanathan Anand against Ian Nepomniachtchi. Okay. Anand actually always impresses us, right? With his age, he's already 50, but okay, he's a former world champion, and he still has it. Look at this game. He played like a young, just like Ariza Firuza. Okay, Anand played bishop d2 in the Grinfield, against the Grinfield. The main point is that when the knight captures g3, the bishop goes there, and you can exchange that bishop on the g7 bishop, which is protecting the king. So Nepomniachtchi plays c5. Of course, you cannot take that pawn on c5, or else black has bishop takes c3, takes on c3, moves like queen a5, attacking both. And if you play queen d4, just castles, and then knight c6. Okay. So that is better for black, and your pawn structure is just bad. So here Anand went for d5. Takes on c3, takes on c3. Now black's weakness, of course, the dark square. So how does Anand take advantage of that one? Queen d6 was played, probably stopping e5. So queen d2, threatening f4, and then e5. The control of the central squares. So Nepomniachtchi castle, now f4. e5 is coming. Black has to do something. Okay, he has to play e6. Now if e5, we have queen takes d5. Anand went for a normal knight f3, e takes d5, and he has this bishop c4. Very nice. Developing a piece and taking advantage of the pin on c2. That was nice. That was an extra tempo for white. He doesn't need to capture on d5 with a pawn. So bishop e6 was played by Nepomniachtchi, and Anand just castled. What I like here after d4 is this brilliant move by Anand at f5. Okay, that bishop on c4 is unprise. Okay, it's like a French term, yeah, or in your bishop is undefended. It's free. It's for the taking. You can take that piece. It's unprise, you know. And imagine, I think Nepomniachtchi was blown off here, and he probably was like, "What is this?" So he captured the piece, probably asking his opponent, "Okay, what can you do after that?" Anand has e5. All right, and after the game, by the way, Anand was interviewed with regards to this game, and he was saying that this was his preparation 10 years ago against Veselin Topalov in their World Championship match. Imagine that. This was his preparation 10 years back. Okay, he used it now only, yeah? After queen d7, now f6. The pawns, imagine that. The nail on f6. That's how you try to take advantage of that dark square weakness by black. Okay, there was a connection with this bishop d2 to c3 with that f5 and f6. That's the connection. Anand exchanged that bishop, and look at the plan. All right, being consistent with his plan. Without the dark square bishop, look at this. These three important squares. And the most, of course, the dangerous square is g7 because it's in front of the king. Using the reinforcement of the pawns. After f6, queen h6 is coming, and black had enough. Imagine winning in 17 moves. And wow, this is probably not just one of the best games in the tournament, but probably in this decade. Okay, we are just starting a new decade, 2020. Anand seems to be doing it every decade. He's showing still that, okay, he is a world champ. He's a world champ. He's still an elite at his age, you know. He's already 50, but he still can play brilliant chess. This is one for the books. Only 17 moves against a player that of the caliber by Ian Nepomniachtchi with a rating of 2784, losing in 17 moves. And wow, you can just say, wow. All right. Now, you cannot stop queen h6 here. g7 is going to be a mate. All right, the only way to stop is what? Let's just say, where can we go? Let's say king h8, queen h6. If you go rook g8, then knight g5. mate on h7. If earlier queen d5 was played, Anand will still play f6 probably. And then if you play queen e4, trying to go for queen e3, Anand has rook a e1. So that's another thing. Or even queen h6 here is also possible. After here, queen e4, there is still rook a e1 and then knight g5, or maybe knight g5 straight away. After here, just king h1. So that f6 move is just, well, too much to bear. Yeah. So he blown off Nepomniachtchi. So this is again the best game at the start of this decade, and this one reminds me of another beautiful game played by Anand, like 7 years back, against Levon Aronian. Okay, let's go back in time, 7 years back in the Weekend Z tournament. Anand here was playing black against Levon Aronian. Okay, Levon played d4, we have d5, c4, c6, knight f3, knight f6, knight b7, takes. Okay, so we have the Queen's Gambit accepted. e5, bishop to d6, castles, bishop to b7, rook to c8. Okay, Levon went for knight g5 here, with this bishop on d3, attacking h7. We have the knight attacking h7 and the queen attacking h7. So we now have 3 pieces attacking that square on h7, that weak point on h7. But look at what Anand played. He didn't mind and played c5, opening the line for his bishop. Look at the bishops now. All right, that's a very good counterplay. So Levon went for knight h7, probably not sensing the danger. Levon was like, okay, I'll go for it. So now Anand played knight g4. Now he has also a counterplay with bishop h2 and knight h2. So Levon went for f4, interposing, blocking the attack on h2. Anand went for c takes d4, e takes d4, and this another unprise. Yes, I mean he gave up that piece on c5. Now the question here is that in the game Levon played bishop e2, but what happens if he captures the bishop? Okay, if he captures the bishop, black has knight takes c5. Now we are attacking the bishop on d3 and queen on d3, right? If let's say you go back, for example, you go back to e2. Now Anand has queen d4 check. You go to king h1, black has knight f2. And if you don't capture the knight, let's say king g1, Anand has knight h3, queen g1, and then knight f2 mate. That's a smothered mate. Yes? And then if, for example, if you capture the knight on f2, there's queen f2, and the mate on g2, we have a mate on g2 is unstoppable. Because if, let's say, you protect it with the bishop, then queen f1 is another mate on the background. Again, because this piece on a1 and piece on c1 is still underdeveloped. It's not yet developed. So it's again a question of development. Knight g5 was too early. White should have played probably here, maybe b4, right? Stopping c5. But he went for knight g5. Okay, now after that one, takes, bishop c5. That's not the end of the brilliant move. Another brilliant move by Anand with knight e5, right? So when I saw that game, when I saw his game against Nepomniachtchi, I was like, it went back to my mind. I was like, oh, Anand also played a beautiful game 7 years back. So he doesn't seem to cease and impress us every single time, right? Even at his age now. He still has it. He still has it. All right, so after knight e5, another brilliant move. Okay, in the game, Levon went for takes on g4. Now, if he takes the knight, let's say on d4, and it has queen takes, d4, king g1, another queen g1, then knight f2, mate. All right, so Levon went for bishop takes g4, knight takes, bishop takes d4, check, intermediate check, knight takes g4. After knight takes f8, another f5, nice move, interposing, stopping queen h7. Now your threat would be queen h4. Levon went for knight g6, queen f6, h3, takes on g6, queen e2, queen h5, threatening mate with queen h3. So Levon went for queen b3, and Anand has a very nice bishop e3 blockade. Yes. Now if the bishop takes on e3, we have queen takes h3, and we have a mate on g2. All right. So where does this inspiration coming from? Why is Anand producing these games? All right. You come to think of it. You analyze the situation. Why is he producing brilliant chess? And the thing that comes to mind is, of course, the role of the classics. All right. We can turn back time in 1907. Let's turn back time in 1907. A game where Akiba Rubinstein was playing against George Rotlewi. So in 1907, Rubinstein played an immortal game, and it looks basically the same as what Anand has played. So now we have this importance in the role of the classics, right? Because classical chess is timeless. When we study the classical games, we study the games of the former world champions. That will help us also in our own games. That will inspire us to play beautiful games. Okay, let's look at this game. Rotlewi and Rubinstein. So c5. Okay, we have the Tarrasch setup. Takes on c5, a3, a6, b4, bishop to d6. Queen d2 was the first bad move by white. You do not put a queen on a potential open file. Now, queen d2 is such a waste move. And probably that was a losing move, by the way. A very bad place for the queen. Now, queen e7, no, it's threatening rook d8 and a take on c4. That queen would be vulnerable. He played bishop d3, now takes on c4, b5, rook d8. Now the queen has to move to e2. So if you look at the pieces now, it's symmetrically placed. Queen on e2, queen on e7. But the difference is that the king is still on e1, and black has already castled, and the rook is already on d8. So you gave black 2 extra tempi. So after that one, bishop to b7 castles. Now knight e5 takes. f4, bishop goes to c7. Rook c8, e5. Okay, now we have bishop b6 check, king h1, and then knight g4. Look at Anand earlier. Let's just look at the Anand game. He had also knight g4 in the game. All right, now you will see the similarities. Right, the similarities of that game. Anand also had knight g4 in his game against Aronian. Okay, so after knight g4, we have bishop e4, queen on h4, g3, rook takes on c3, rook d2. And this is a very beautiful picture of a chess game, right? 4 pieces are unprised. One on g4 and one on b7. You can all take those pieces. But any piece you take will still lead you into a checkmate. So that's why chess is a very beautiful game. Chess is an art. Okay, the big problem nowadays is just the advent of computers. That makes the game a little bit less creative. I actually don't like computers, and also it pushes people to cheat as well. So that is bad. Nowadays, you see people using Stockfish or whatever, and that is really bad. A lot of cheating incidents nowadays because of computers. Before, the ideas were very genuine. Yes, we have the human ideas, the human mind, and that's really, really, really beautiful. And if you look at these ideas, this was 1907. Okay, queen takes d2, takes on e4. After queen g2, we have rook h3. The mate on h2 is unstoppable. If you take the bishop, we have rook takes h2. That bishop controls g1. That knight protects the rook. And that is a mate. So because of this game in 1907, it inspired Anand to play his own immortal game back in 2013 against Aronian. All right. So that's the role of the classics. So when I saw that game by Anand, I was like, wow. That was truly, it reminds me, it turns me back in time where Rubinstein also had this game. All right. So it's better if you have books, old books, better read it. Former world champions like Alekhine, Capablanca, you go through it. Kasparov, Fischer, check the book, read. Don't just rely on Stockfish or Houdini, right? They're not good, yes. I will still prefer the traditional way, classical way. All right, now let's move on. So that was Anand's beautiful game against, it started, okay, the Ian Nepomniachtchi game in chapter 2. And that leads me back to the time where Anand went on to play a beautiful game against Aronian 7 years back. And then again, turned me back into another time in 1907, a game by Akiba and Rotlewi. All right. Another game that came into the picture is this game by Caruana against Bidit. When I saw the game, I was like, "Ooh, this is another good one." This one is kind of instructive in a way. The other game was Anand beautiful because of the combinations. Here, the end game technique. All right. So from combination, let's go to end games. So Caruana was white here. This is a bit long. So we have the Royal Opus, knight on f1, quite similar, of course, to the Italian game, takes on d5. By the way, you do not take on e5 here. This is not free. Knight takes e5, rook takes e5, there's bishop takes f2. King takes f2, there's queen f6, and the rook is dead. Okay, you don't fall into that trap. Okay, so after knight g3, we have rook e8, h3 stopping bishop g4, bishop e6, we have bishop to c2. All right, a6, we have bishop to d2, normal development. Okay, takes. Bishop to d7, queen e5. Nothing much to be decided here, right? So let's just go quickly to the important part of our discussion, right? So now we are into an endgame. We have the minor piece endgame where white has two bishops, the importance of the two bishops, the power of two bishops against the two knights here, right? Takes. So two bishops against bishop knight. All right, so this is more of like just maneuvering. All right, maneuvering. All right, takes. e5. Let's just go quickly to our important discussion here. Takes. Okay, 2 pawns each. Bishop e2. Check. We're not there yet. All right, we're almost there. Takes. All right, 2 bishops. Now the pieces are reduced. 1 pawn each down. King e6, king d5, bishop on e2. We have bishop g4. All right, check. All right, keeping the pawn on f5. That is very important. Bishop. All right, f6. Okay, now black takes on f6. So black took on f6, and now we have 2 bishops against the knight. And how do you win with 2 bishops against the knight? Okay, this is an important endgame technique. Now, king takes the bishop. You will see here the power of the 2 bishops, how the bishop restricts, okay? How that bishop restricts the knight. We only have 2 kinds of squares, the light square and the dark square. And the 2 bishops represent those squares, right? This bishop controls this light squares here, right here. The other bishop on this one. Okay. So let's look at the power of this bishops. So we have king e5. All right. Bishop d2, centralized king. Knight cannot jump to f4. It cannot jump to g4 and f4. Bishop restricts this square for the knight. All right. So the knight went back. Bishop g5. All right, there's a pin. King goes to g4. Nice trick. The knight stays with the king so that it will be protected. Now the pawn is captured. All right. So king f3. Bishop d4. So the knight square would be knight here, here, h1, and h5. So we need this bishop. Knight h5 at the moment is not possible. You cannot go knight h5 because there's a skewer right there. So Vidit went for king g4, and now Caruana played bishop d1. All right. King g5, bishop e3 check. Nice move. And then check, driving away the king. All right. The king now is far away from protecting the lonely knight on g3. So after king f7, we have bishop d1 back. Okay, he's taking away h5 squares. King moves back to g6. King e6, taking away f7. Again, knight cannot jump to f5. Bishop here, pin. Same case if you play the knight to e4. Bishop pins. You all know very well that the 2 bishops can deliver a checkmate. All right. But all you have to do is trap the knight first. So after knight h5, we have bishop c2 check. Nice. King e7, another nice move. This knight cannot jump to f6 because this bishop to d4. All right. So he went to knight g3, and now bishop d3. Restrict, restrict. Okay. So only square for the knight, this 2. Knight h5 back, bishop g5, restricting f6. Knight back. Okay, nice move. Nice move, f5. Check first. Nice move, king g5 traps the knight. So king goes to h6, bishop f7. The king cannot move. The knight cannot move to g3, so the knight has to move g7 check. King g4, taking away the h5 square. This bishop controls this. Pretty good move. The knight, no square to jump, only move king. King g5, wow. King g6. Where do you put your knight? Knight on e6, we have bishop f6 and takes on g7. That was a very nice technique by Caruana against Vidit. But why was Caruana successful here? Again, where did he get his inspiration? Then we go back in time, all right? That's why, again, we go back to the role of the classics. Let's look at the game here by Botvinnik against Michael Tal. Tal was playing black here. Okay, this game was played in 1961 in the World Championship by Botvinnik and Tal. Tal was black, and Tal was known for his brilliant combinations, but in this game, he showed the other side of him playing a good technique in the endgame. Okay, that's why he was also a world champion. So he doesn't only go for combination for tactics, but he also goes for positional chess and good endgame technique. So you need to have a little bit of both if you want to be successful in chess. Okay, so we have here a King's Indian. All right, the Samish. Okay, but this is not our discussion. We are not discussing theoretically the opening, but we go to our goal, the end game, how to play with two bishops against the knight, right? Of course, you cannot take the rook here because it only allows c takes d5, and now you have a pass pawn on d6. All right, so we have knight c7 takes, b8. Tal sacrifice a pawn. White was actually better here, but knowing Tal, he can try to just complicate things. He's known for that one. Right, he's getting a pawn, and now d5 is a bit weak. Okay, rook g7. Okay, queen exchange. Okay, a3, that was a bit weak. Exchange, all right. I'll reduce material. All right, so we have two bishops, extra pawn, bishop 9, 2 pawns. Bishop goes back to c8, takes, bishop on f4, h3, very good. Of course, you cannot take this bishop, this promotion, unstoppable pawn. So bishop went to g1, h2, takes. Now we have two bishops against the knight. Okay, look at the technique here by Tal. Bishop b5, bishop f1. All right, check first. Taking away e4, the knight cannot jump over there. Taking in the central square, takes the pawn. All right. Also, white takes the final pawn. Bishop check first, very good move, so that the king cannot step inside to help the knight. Then king d6. Again, knight d4 is not, this is a nice move because knight d4 is not possible. We have 4. So Botvinnik played knight a5. Now Tal checks. Bishop e2, pretty good move. Bishop e3, look at the restriction of the bishop. Look at that, look at that. The knight can only jump here and here. So on that side of the board, limited. So knight e5, king c5. You cannot jump to this square because of the pin. So he went for king c7, and Tal went for bishop f4. After bishop f4 here, white resigned. Again, why did he resign? Now the thing here is that if you, let's say you play king here, opponent can go king g4. You cannot again play knight here, knight on f3, or oh no, sorry, knight to c6 because there is bishop on f3. And if you go back, if the knight goes back here, bishop e3, stopping here, right? If let's say king moves, Bishop to d1, attacking the knight. Knight goes back to a1, bishop d4. The knight is trapped. So again, Caruana went on and played a beautiful game against Vidit because he knows his classics. He knew that there was a game by Budvinik and Tal way back, right? So that's the importance of studying the classics. That when it comes to your own game, ooh, I've seen this before, and that would be easier for you to play. Okay, that's very, very helpful. The role of the classics. All right, okay. And with that, we move on to the next game. Another beautiful game here by Wesley So against Adiban. Okay, probably the last game that we have to discuss. Another good attacking game here by Wesley. All right, he went for the Roy Lopez exchange. Knight bd2, knight c4, attacking e5. Adiban went for castle queenside. Takes, and then g5, a bit optimistic. This move is a bit optimistic. So after g5, now white has bishop takes g5. That is just a pawn, right? A free pawn. And look at how Wesley tries to take advantage of that single pawn. Now another pawn falls. c5, right? Knight to c8, rook to d3. Rook on e1. a5, trying to break with b5. A4, trying to break with b5. Rook d8, nice move. h5. h4, stopping any counterplay. Queen to f6, b5. Takes. f6, c6, sorry. After b6, Wesley has knight d7. Okay, here Adiban went for rook takes g3. Now let's look at queen f7. Now here, what does white play after queen f7? Now if black plays queen f7, Wesley has this beautiful sacrifice with queen takes b6, right? When you capture in b6, there's bishop b8, and then after king a8, knight takes b6. All right. Okay, this plan starts with that very optimistic play by black, g5, and white methodically just took advantage of that one. That was just a strong technique played by Wesley over there. Bishop takes. Okay, bishop takes. Probably black was hoping that there was bishop takes f3. Then after, let's say, bishop takes e7, then he has here bishop takes d1. But here takes on d8. If he plays bishop takes c2, Wesley has this bishop f6. Maybe this is what black has missed. The bishop f6 move. He probably did not calculate properly when he played g5, or he just played that move so that he can open up the g5. But Wesley played a very nice move here, stopping any counterplay on g2 with that bishop h4 and bishop d3. And I like what he did on the queen side as well with c4, and then c5, and then a4, breaking the structure, the pawn structure in front of the king. That's good technique by West. c6. All right. Keeping your advantage. Okay, rook takes g3, queen takes g3. You resign because you cannot capture the rook on d8. There's just queen takes c7, queen takes, and it should be made on b8. But the very beautiful position would have appeared if black here played queen f7. Wesley has queen takes, and knight takes b6. All right. So these are the games, the instructive games played in the Nations Cup. The Nations Cup won by China. Critical game by Yu Yangyi against Wesley So in the last game, the superfinals. Probably the decision of Nakamura to offer a draw against Ding Liren in a good position could have costed US the victory. But that's chess. I mean, probably China was destined to win the Nations Cup. All right, so thanks for listening and thanks for watching. And by the way, we also are simulcast live on Twitter. We are also on YouTube, and you can follow us at Instagram. Follow us at Dubai Chess on Instagram, guys. Okay, thanks for watching, and probably we'll see you again in our next stream. It could be the Steinitz Memorial where Carlsen will be playing. All right. Thank you, guys, and again, stay home, stay safe, play chess.
Dubai Chess and Culture Club invite parents to enroll their children to the club's chess school and enjoy the wide-ranging benefits of chess as a tool for education and skill development. Under the guidance of a team of internationally certified instructors, students will learn the fundamentals of chess strategy, tactics, and other key concepts in a fun and highly engaging way. Dubai Chess Club also offers ladies-only training program for women to have a comfortable environment to train. Studies have shown that chess is a great way to strengthen memory, enhance creativity, develop problem-solving skills, and boost the analytical abilities of children. Moreover, it teaches children the value of planning and foresight, and helps instill discipline, self-confidence, perseverance, and sportsmanship. Children who study chess are also known to improve their academic performance. A child who makes great chess moves can make great life moves.